Carols are a big part of a traditional Christmas dating back hundreds of years. We're all familiar with carolers singing in the streets, but the tradition is more likely to have begun in graveyards, as I discovered earlier. So what was a carol?
It's a medieval song with dancing, and the dancing is just as important a part as the singing.
Right, so anything that's a carol?
Pretty much, usually with a bit that comes round and round, a refrain.
What is this, and what does this have to do with carolling?
This is so exciting. This is a preaching stone, and it's one of the few remaining preaching stones in the country, and it's where people would come and do a sermon. So they'd go to church, in the church, and then after the service had finished, everyone would come out into the graveyard, and this is where they would have a sermon, where they would preach to people. But the churchyard is also the place where after the service, it's a nice big open space, wall round it, no livestock, so people would have a song and a dance in the churchyard after church. So then you've got the preacher on the preaching stone trying to preach to everyone, and the carolers all dancing round, and we have these sermons where they talk about you've got to stop the carolling because it's getting in the way.
Okay, so where did the carolers go when they were thrown out of the churchyard?
So then we don't know exactly, but they'd probably end up going down into the village, onto the main streets, and continuing their carolling and their carousing down there.
Dunster has its own tradition of carol singing, and Emma and I headed up to the Tenants' Hall, part of the castle, to catch up with the Dunster carolers as they practised with their new young recruits. This is the Dunster carol. Would you describe this as being medieval style carol?
In some ways it really is. They've got the refrain going on, so where they come round and round to the same bit each time. They've got setting it in a season, so it's December. And then at the end, they bring in the God bit, so they do the baby in the manger with the shepherds. So in that sense, yeah, absolutely classic. In the Middle Ages, most musical traditions were oral traditions taught by ear and learned by ear, and there are these gentlemen of the village teaching the children in exactly the way that people have learned carols for hundreds and hundreds of years.
What's the Dunster carol all about?
Well, I know it's very old, and the children who went to our school many years ago also learnt it.
Well, it keeps the tradition going, and it's really special to us because it's about the village where we go to school.
The words were written by the poet Longfellow in the middle of the 19th century and were set to music, we don't know by whom.
Well, I learnt it orally from my dad. So that's my dad singing there in full gusto. I'm down there, and behind is my brother. I've got here his old carol book, over 50 years old,
wow.
Which is the last thing I got of him, actually. I love it. And in it's got all the carols that we sing.
We hope that in the future it will carry on even after we're gone.
Throughout history, folk tunes have been added to sacred words to popularise songs, and our next Christmas carol does just that. I'm sure you're going to recognise the tune of Greensleeves.
What child is this who laid to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping, who made just breathe with anthem sweet, what shepherds watch are keeping. This
Thank you to everyone here in Dunster, and let me tell you that next week we join Aled at the Royal Albert Hall for a Christmas Day celebration where he'll be singing along with Gareth Malone and his choir, Laura Mvula and many others. Let me wish you a happy, joyous and peaceful Christmas, and we end today's show with this festive favourite.
I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. And what was in those ships of 3 on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day? And what was in those ships of 3 on Christmas Day in the morning? Our Saviour Christ and His Lady on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Our Saviour Christ and His Lady on Christmas Day in the morning.
And on Christmas Day in the morning, our traditional service comes from Bristol Cathedral at 10, followed by the Songs of Praise Christmas Big Sing next Sunday at 11. Country File at Christmas in 25 minutes. You're invited to a party with BBC One. That's after the news.